I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Operation Freedom Briefings. The goal of these briefings in my weekly radio show, Operation Freedom, which airs out of the People's Republic of Ann Arbor, Michigan, and you can stream it live every Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern at davejanda.com, is to provide you information the bought-off, lamestream fake media will never provide. This is in follow-up to my previous YouTube from last week about will Trump be baited by the globalists in what happens in Syria? Well, let's title this one, Trump's Now Syria Hit. Power move, bad move, or stealth move. As we all know, Friday, April 13th, British forces, French forces, and United States forces attacked Syria. It caused a wide spectrum of folks to either agree, disagree, or just scratch their heads about what's really going on. Look, none of us really know what's going on because we don't have access to the intel networks. That's critical to find out what really happened in Syria with the chemical attack, which ultimately led to these cruise missiles and conventional military attacks against Syria the night of April 13th. Let's break it down. Power move. What do the people say to say this is a power move by the Trump administration and Britain and France? One, Assad gassed his own people, and he must be shown a lesson, and the way to do that is militarily. Other folks that support this as being a power move said Assad must be removed from power and Iran and Russia must pay a price for the chemical attacks on the Syrian people. And then there are folks that say, look, trust Trump and whatever he does. And if you criticize Trump or what happened with the Syria attack, you are anti-military and you're anti-American interests and you're anti-Trump. Now look. First of all, I understand where the power move folks are coming from. I understand where it's a bad move folks are coming from, and where some folks are saying, was this a stealth move folks are coming from. But for the small number of people that are saying you should accept across the board anything anyone ever does without questioning, is that, I believe, against everything this country is about or should be about. We need to question anyone and everyone about events that occur, especially when huge number of missiles, in this case 103 cruise missiles, are fired, and people are dying, and another sovereign country is being attacked. Imagine if Obama did this or Bush's did this, and everybody said, we shouldn't question anything about this. Just accept it and let's just move on. That doesn't do anyone any good. So to the folks that say we should just trust and not hold people's feet to the fire, I believe is against everything our forefathers and foremothers developed in the institution of this country. So let's move on to the folks that say it's a bad move. Folks say, well, wait a minute. We should have waited for independent confirmation by the OPCW organization about what exactly this chemical attack was, because the Russians are saying that it wasn't a chemical attack. They're saying they have documentation of no evidence of a chemical attack. So we have the Russians saying there was no evidence of a chemical attack, therefore no reason to strike Syria. We have some initial reports out of Britain. And initially, the United States said, we don't have any evidence of a chemical attack. And then Nikki Haley came forward about a day before the attack and said, we do have evidence, although that evidence has not been presented. But for the folks that say this is a bad move, they say, why didn't we wait for independent confirmation? Because it could have occurred in a reasonable time frame, this confirmation, 48, 72 hours. Many people are saying from the bad move side, this is against what Trump campaigned against, and actually campaigned for and against. In fact, he was critical of Obama about getting the United States' feet wet in Syria. That was an internal civil war meant for them to handle, and it shouldn't lead to American blood being spilled or money being wasted from the American taxpayers. There's documentation of that, and the people that say this is a bad move do make a point on that side. They also say that we should not be getting involved in a civil war in another sovereign country. Well, frankly, that hasn't stopped us before. That doesn't make it right. But I mean, come on. We have a long track record of putting our noses in a lot of other people's tent. And finally, there are some folks, and I actually was worried about this, that this attack on Syria was going to lead to an escalation, if you will, a potential of a world war with Russia. Now, that still might be the case, but it has not led to a retaliatory military strike yet. Good. We're glad everybody's cooler heads have prevailed. Now, and it could be that there hasn't been a retaliatory strike because of the folks that are saying it wasn't a power move, it wasn't a bad move, this was a stealth move by Trump. What do they say? What are they saying? They're saying Trump knows that the financial system worldwide is crumbling. And he's cut a deal with the leaders of China and the leaders of Russia to reset the system and set the stage for a new system, and is utilizing an event, in this case Syria, as a distraction and cover for implementation of the new system. Many people say, look, what Trump did leading up to this, he telegraphed his punches, and he always said he would never do that, telegraph his punch. He did on Twitter. Well, we're going to shoot some very smart missiles your way, right? He also let it known on several occasions through Twitter and through his press conferences that an attack was imminent, coming. Prior to this, while he was campaigning and even as president, he said, I'm not going to let our adversaries know what's coming. Now, he was doing this for days in advance, which allowed Russia to move their assets out, which goes along with this stealth, if you will, hypothesis that Russia was given time to move their personnel and equipment out of where these attacks were going to occur. Reportedly 3 targets, 103 cruise missiles. Seems like a lot of cruise missiles for 3 targets, but could it be that there were some cruise missiles that went other places that nobody's talking about? That some globalists, if you will, encampments got taken out that we're unaware of, such as ISIS strongholds that nobody wants to talk about? Maybe, I don't know. Because we all know the globalists formed, created, funded, weaponized ISIS. And the folks in the stealth category say because of the underlying crumbling of the financial system, any retaliation that Russia, China, Iran come back with, it's going to be in the form of not missiles coming back our way, but in more financial warfare. What do I really think happened here? I think it's a combination of column A, power move, column B, bad move, and column C, stealth move. And we're really not going to know which column dominates until time passes. The bottom line is that the financial system is crumbling behind the scenes, no matter what the bought-off, lamestream, fake media is telling you. And I believe there is a reset coming. And I believe that they do need a distraction so that when the reset comes, folks don't point their fingers at the bankers and the financial gurus that have led to this financial implosion, that folks universally will point to the conflict, whatever it might be, with Russia, with China, with Iran, with whatever it might be, as a reason why the financial system has been coming down. If you want more information about geopolitics, we bring a number of financial experts to our show. Operation Freedom, you can stream it live free, davejanda.com, every Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern. We also have a tremendous amount of free content on our website, davejanda.com. And we also have a subscription side, 30 cents a day, 30 cents a day. You're paying $200 a month for the propaganda on cable, which is never going to touch any of this information. Join us at davejanda.com. Take a look. As we close every segment, until next time, dream big and dare to fail.